You know what I mean? There you go. No, I'm saying boom. So then when you extend up, boom. Technically, this right here. You know what I mean? Because look, if I throw a hook, no, I'm saying, if I'm here, boom, and you throw a hook, I'm just gonna turn. I'm just gonna turn. Wait.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse?
And Terence Crawford has been studying Canelo Alvarez's fighting style in detail and recently shared his strategy for their fight on September 13th. Meanwhile, Caleb Plant said the fight will be exciting and action-packed. He believes Canelo will throw more punches than he did in his last fight against John Ryder, which Plant found slow and predictable. He explained that Ryder was too defensive, and that made the fight boring. Canelo himself once said he doesn't enjoy fights where opponents don't fight back. But Plant feels the fight with Crawford will be different because Crawford is fast and aggressive.
Be a good fight. Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think there's going to definitely be some back and forth and a lot more punches thrown than the Skull fight. I kind of honestly was expecting that with the Skull fight. Yeah. I heard Canelo say in an interview before he don't like to fight certain fighters because you heard him say that.
Yeah, he doesn't like fighting fighters like Skull because they don't throw punches. That's all they do, yeah.
And knowing how Skull fights and being a Cuban, and I felt like I had seen that coming from a mile away out and didn't really expect it to be I thought he was either going to wind up catching him and stopping him or it's going to wind up being how it went. So, but that's a stylistic matchup, you know, and it's going to be a completely different stylistic matchup between him and Bud. I think it's going to make for an exciting fight.
When asked if Canelo should be the favorite, Plant said it makes sense because Canelo is the bigger fighter and Crawford is moving up in weight. However, he reminded fans that size isn't everything and betting odds don't always tell the truth. Plant shared that he was once seen as the underdog, yet he still became a world champion. He didn't pick a winner, but said he's excited for this high-level fight and expects it to be unforgettable. 3. Interestingly,
regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting, you know, the betting people will probably have Canelo as a favorite simply because, you know, Terence is moving up a couple weight classes and people will say, oh, there's weight classes for a reason and this and that. So it doesn't matter what the betting odds say, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Jose Uzcategui, I was the underdog. That's how I became world champion. So odds only mean so much. You know, once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins? Or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say. Can't say, don't know. I'm just, as a fan, excited to see the fight. And from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a real good fight. I'm excited.
Another boxing analyst said Crawford sometimes relies too much on his athleticism and natural talent, which can lead to bad habits. He compared this to what he calls the Paul Williams or Mark Breland syndrome, where talented fighters become too confident. Crawford uses a high guard and likes to block punches with his arms while countering. But the analyst warned that this could be dangerous against someone like Canelo, whose punches at 168 pounds are much stronger. He also said Crawford hasn't often shown he can win while backing up under pressure.
Terence Crawford has been getting hit flush repeatedly forever. But he has what I like to call the Paul Williams disease or the Mark Breland disease, where you've been too athletically gifted or too big for your eye. So you have built this bad habit of saying, now I'm gonna walk you down and whip your ass. Nobody has really been able to hurt Crawford. What Crawford does to walk you down and whip your ass is putting his guard up, very similar to Canelo. Or he'll do this, and he would block with that hand, he'll parry, and he'll hit. Because he's just too physical. He will end up being like, bam, bam, catching your punches to throw his, and he'll walk you down. And my problem with that is you're dealing with a 168-pound Canelo who's going to hit your arm, hit your shoulders. It's going to feel different. I've never known Crawford to box off his back foot, swim without getting wet, and just outpoint you. That's not.
Shocker Stevenson also shared his prediction. He believes Crawford will beat Canelo. While respecting Canelo's legacy, he said Crawford has the skills and flexibility to win. He didn't think the weight difference matters too much, pointing out that Canelo isn't as naturally big as someone like David Benavidez. Shocker even said that if Canelo underestimates Crawford or loses focus, Crawford could even score a stoppage.
Bud gonna cook Canelo. He's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
Yeah. You don't think the weight difference is gonna
be too big of a advantage. I think y'all make that something, you know, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height wise, yeah, he's kind of small. So I don't think so. No.
For have you got a decision to stoppage? Because Bradman and Boozy think that Bud actually might stop it.
Me and Boozy talked about that. That's crazy. Me and who got on the phone talked about it, but I think that's possible. Like I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think it's a possibility if Canelo gets to acting out of line and not understanding that Bud.
Crawford himself expects Canelo to use both pressure and skill to try and wear him down. He admitted that Canelo is naturally bigger, but said he's prepared for anything and ready to adapt to whatever Canelo brings into the ring.
I'm expecting Canelo to beat Canelo. You know, he's the bigger man. I expect him to, you know, box a little bit, but I also expect him, you know, to try to walk me down and be the bigger man. So, you know, we expect everything in there. No, definitely don't matter. You know, the odds can't fight for him. So, you know, it is what
Crawford encouraged fans not to miss the fight on September 13th, calling it a showdown between two of the best. He described it as a high-stakes war, one fighter trying to defend his crown, the other trying to take it. Crawford believes it's going to be a spectacular event. Two top-level fighters going head-to-head.
Because it's going to be a spectacular fight. You got two great fighters, you know, going head-to-head, you know, and trying to dethrone. You got one fighter trying to dethrone the other one, and you got the other one trying to, you know, stay at the top. So, you know, it's going to be a great fight. You know, both of us got a lot to lose, but a lot to gain. So, I think that's why everybody should tune in, because it's going to be a
Rolando Rolly Romero openly said he hopes Crawford gives Canelo a one-sided beating. He repeated this strongly, clearly showing his emotions. When asked why, Romero mentioned something Canelo did in a recent fight that he saw as disrespectful to boxing. While he admitted the weight difference is real, his support for Crawford comes from both personal feelings and disappointment with Canelo's attitude.
Canelo. I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Really? Yeah?
Now, I'll tell you like this, I mean, the weight division things, you know, but I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why do you want to see Crawford beat the ish out of Canelo?
I just hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why? Like Canelo, is it because of the last fight? Like you haven't been a fan of Canelo, or like why? Like you like Crawford that much?
Took your coffee.
What Canelo did on that day was disrespectful to boxing. It was just simply disrespectful to...
Romero later said he doesn't consider Crawford versus Canelo a true mech. Although he respects both fighters, he believes a fight with David Benavidez would be more meaningful. He said size mismatches don't automatically make a fight great. True blockbusters happen when two top fighters from the same weight class meet, or when two superstars face off with equal chances.
I don't think Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia 2 is a big fight.
I was going to ask you about that. I
don't think that's a big fight. I don't think Canelo Crawford's a big fight.
No?
I think Canelo Benavidez is a big fight.
I think that's huge.
I don't think a dude moving up 3 weight divisions to go fight a dude that's twice his size, you know, I know he looked bigger than him the other day, but I mean, obviously, you know, regardless, I don't think that's not making a big fight.
Well, what is making a big fight? Like, how do you make a big fight?
You take the best person in one weight division, you put another person in the weight division, make a big fight, or you get 2 stars that are entertaining as hell and you make a big fight like that.
And still, Romero believes that size will decide the winner. He bluntly said anyone who thinks Crawford can win is crazy. He emphasized that weight divisions exist for a reason, and while Crawford is very skilled, Canelo is not only bigger, he's also a great boxer. To Romero, this fight is more about physical size than talent or experience, and that's why he doesn't give Crawford much chance.
Canelo, we got Terence Crawford. That's going to happen in the fall. It's going to happen here in Sin City, your hometown. How do you feel about that matchup?
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled. And this isn't a skill matchup. It has nothing to do with skill.
No boxing expert Joel Diaz also doesn't think Crawford can beat Canelo, even though he called Crawford his favorite fighter and the best pound for pound in the world. Diaz said jumping from 147 pounds to 168 pounds is a huge leap. He believes Crawford may do well early in the fight, but eventually, the size and power difference will catch up. He pointed out that Canelo has taken punches from powerful fighters like Gennady Golovkin, and if he hits Crawford clean, the damage could be serious.
There's no way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, I mean, the best fighter pound for pound, can beat Canelo. I mean, a 147 pounder moving up to 68, I mean, he can only maybe go 2-3 rounds, good 2-3 rounds, and then Canelo hits him and he hurts. Canelo's being hit by Triple G, the hardest hitter in the division, and never hurt him. But Canelo will hit.
And Diaz compared the situation to Demetrius Andrade's fight with David Benavidez. Andrade started strong, but faded fast as the size difference became clear. Diaz fears Crawford could suffer the same fate. He also believes this fight is more about money than competition, a smart business move for Crawford, but not a fair battle.
For the fight Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade?
Yes.
Demetrius Andrade was a great fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him at 54. He moved to 60. Fight 1 or 2, nobody wanted to fight him at 60. So what did he do? He moved up to 68 because there was nothing for him to fight Benavidez, a big fighter like that. I mean, look what he did in the first early round. Demetrius Andrade was in control. He was doing great. But once that weight starts kicking in, it takes over. There is no way that Crawford can beat Canelo. I mean, Turkey on the sheet. It's a big fan of Terence Crawford. He wants to give him a good payday, and simple as that.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas praised Crawford, calling him absolutely extraordinary. While he also admires Canelo, he believes Crawford has special gifts that make him different, like timing, instincts, focus, and the ability to stay calm under pressure. Atlas said, Crawford's calmness isn't just confidence, it's about seeing and reacting to things that others can't.
I just think Crawford's real special. I think Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. I see it. The timing, the instinct, the eyes, the ability to be chilly cold, not just cold and calm, but chilly cold, where you can see things other people don't see. And he didn't have a great performance when he moved up to 154, but he was fighting a good fighter. He was fighting a guy that fought a very difficult style at that moment, and he was fighting at a weight class that was foreign to him, and we had to give him a minute. Nobody wants to give anyone a minute in this business. You're supposed to be great. You got to be great every minute. But I gave him a minute to kind of get his feet settled at a new weight class. And he still did what he had to do to win. But I still see the greatness. The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup. It's in his background, where he came from.
Canelo versus Bud Crawford. Yeah. I'm kind of have to put you on the spot. Who do you like? Who you going with?
I like both. I'm a fan of Canelo. I'm a fan of Terence Crawford. They're both amazing fighters. Canelo's just a huge puncher, bro.
Well, Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit. In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He's been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. You know, he's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's going to be getting hit by a truck. I'm used to that. And I think that at the beginning, just like it was with Kell Brook and Gennady, at the beginning, the speed and the talent will show in the fight. I think Canelo will lose 3 or 4 rounds at the beginning. But then once he starts pounding on him, as it's been for the last 6-7 fights of Canelo, after the 6th or 7th round, it's a sparring session for him. You know, he just throwing bombs away and not caring about what they do to him. But he's got excellent defense. Unfortunately, his feet don't move as well as I would like for him to move them, but his upper body is just unbelievable. He slips punches very well. He's got great hands. He parries very well, and he lands big shots. He may not land as many, but he lands big shots that hurt. So I think Canelo stops him, or wide decision at the end. And corner must think about Crawford's safety and health.